Now, what about this? Should women always say yes to sex? Absolutely, according to relationship expert Dr. Pam Spur. Definitely not, says author Liz Fraser. They'll both be joining me in just a minute. First, though, this is what some of you had to say.
Well, ideally, you should have sex when you want to. No one should have to have sex if they don't want to.
No, I think it should be a mutual thing.
I mean, basically, I think only when they want to.
No, not at all. I think it should be a mutual thing, or if you can be bothered, really.
I love the look on his face. He's like, what? Oh, Dr. Pam Spur and Liz Fraser join me now. Pam, this is controversial. This is controversial. What are you saying? Are you saying that women should just sort of say yeah every time?
No, I'm not saying women should lay back and think of their country, whatever.
Right.
What I'm saying is you've got to find compromise, because in researching my new book, there was this recurring theme that kept coming up. Women who had bitter regrets because their relationship had ended because they'd said no to sex for 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, without giving any explanation or trying to compromise. Now, these women wanted to be in a relationship. They didn't want to be single. And what I say is you have to nurture every single aspect of your relationship.
Including the sexual aspect.
Exactly, because it's a two-way street.
But the thing is, a lot of women, and I suppose it can happen, because a lot of women that write to me as well will say, I've got out of the way of it. You know, you sort of get out of the habit of it. So the less you do it, the less you do it.
Don't use it, you lose it.
And indeed, yes, what I thought that is. But yeah, I can understand that. And in here you're saying the Sex Doctor's Guide to Teasing and Pleasing Your Lover, and it's fabulous foreplay. Is that what it's all about? Is it that people forget to do that?
I'm so glad you said that, Lorraine. It is so much about forgetting. You start rubbing along in a relationship.
I swear.
And you just
sparks fly and all that.
And, you know, you kind of forget about what you did when you first dated. When you first dated, you wouldn't have dreamt of saying no all the time to sex.
Sure.
And of course there'd be times when you don't feel like sex.
Yeah,
And, you know,
yeah,
you've had a baby or you've had a really long day, whatever. But you have to give a reason. What I found is too many women go, well, like it or lump it, you know, sort yourself out, darling. I'm just not in the mood. And they won't say why. And if it's just technique, well, definitely you can do lots to improve his technique.
It's interesting, you know, because we did a survey, and thank you to everybody who took part. And it's interesting, 96% of women disagree, Pam. 85% feel they have the right to deny their partner sex if they want to. Almost 50% of women said they were just too tired to be bothered to have sex. And now this is really sad, I think, because 64% of women don't talk to their partners about sex.
Yeah, that means 36% say they cannot talk. Now, the thing is that it's very powerfully worded the way that survey question was asked. It was an all or nothing.
Right.
And you know, I would probably have answered, you know, the same way that your 96% answered, if, you know, faced with that very stark question. But what I'm saying is there's a middle ground. And women are not even prepared to find compromise. I'm talking about the women who've lost their relationships or are in troubled relationships. The man's gone to have an affair because they haven't decided, I owe a little bit to this relationship. I need to compromise.
So, Liz, sometimes we should just go along, do you think? What do you think?
I think what Pam said there about it being very strongly worded is a very important point. And actually, if you're not saying that women should always say yes, then we could probably meet somewhere in the middle. But for me, the moment sex becomes a duty, something a woman has to do, I'm not interested in that. Sex is a pleasure. It's a pleasurable thing, and that's why we do it.
It's a pleasurable duty, because the thing is we've become to think of duty as such a negative connotation. A duty is about maintaining something worthy and important in your life, just like you'd have a duty to look after your elderly parents or your children.
Men, I'm told, there are a lot of men who would literally do it every single day,
well,
on the hour, every hour, so
you
you have to be careful.
Sex actually is not a human need. Food is.
It is a human drive.
It's a human drive, correct. It's an instinct, it's a desire, but it's not a need, and you can't actually go without sex. There are celibate people. And I think what people need to understand is that just as some people eat more than others, some people need 9 hours sleep, some people need 2, actually, some people don't need to have sex as much as other people do.
Because we don't live in an ideal world where everybody's needs can be met. We live in a real world where there are 2 people with 2 different needs who are trying to meet halfway. But what I have found in this recurring theme is a lot of women say, no, I'm not even prepared to meet halfway. And then I say, it's more powerful if you actually tell him why.
As far as,
why don't you want to meet halfway? Does he not help enough with the chores?
But as far as I understand it, you're saying that, you know, as a relationship becomes stale or whatever, that really a woman should say, I really need to keep my relationship going. So
Yeah.
even though I am absolutely knackered, I gave birth 6 months ago, I've done the cello lesson check and made the packed lunches and emptied the dishwasher and phoned my mum and written his mother's birthday card.
No, what
No,
you should
you
be
I
saying-
don't want to have sex. I really don't want to have sex.
And
tonight,
of course
okay? I
you
really
don't want to when you've done all that.
So
And what you
why
need to do...
shouldn't he back down?
No, because
Yes.
what he needs to do... Oh, he should. That's why I'm saying
So he
compromise.
should.
Or he should help
There's
more.
sometimes
Should be more balanced.
Exactly. It should be about saying, this is why I don't want sex, because quite frankly, darling, I do 99% of the
But
chores.
then
And
he's just
then
going
you
to
need
call you a
check
nag.
the relationship.
He's just going to say you're a nag bag, isn't
Well, no, because it's the way you do it.
Okay.
I do believe in a regular relationship MOT, where you kind of sit down and go, hey, how's it working with the chores? How's it working with the childcare? What are we doing to help each other? And if you can start making that, laying that foundation, you know, the sexy fun will follow.
In
Because you're both
theory-
feeling that you're both treasured, nurtured,
Absolutely, yeah.
respected, and that you're both showing a duty to
But it
that
could
relationship.
also be that some women, you know, if maybe they feel a bit fat, they
Yeah.
don't feel very desirable. They've had a baby and they can't get rid of their tummy.
But that's not
and
their
they
partner's
and they kind of
fault.
go and they put on their wincey at nighty and they say, "That's it, no, thank you."
Yeah.
And,
Maybe,
then,
I don't know.
they need to feel better about themselves and actually do something to solve that
sure,
problem, because
okay.
that's really their problem. And if they don't want their husband to feel cold-shouldered, you know, a woman could have a weight problem for 20 years. Well, does that mean he has to be left out in the cold for 20 years just because
but
she's worried about
you know
her
what,
weight?
Pam, though? I think that women, for women and men, sex means quite different things. I really do think that.
Well, for some women
I
and some
think
men.
for some men,
Yeah.
hugely generalising. I think there are a larger majority of men who, quite frankly, just want to have sex, go to sleep. They want to have sex probably 7 nights a week, if they twice a night, every day, if they could. For a larger number of women, sex is more this whole mental thing, and it takes a long
nurturing,
time.
nurturing, cuddling,
It is
stuff.
that tight. And also, and I'm sure I speak for a lot of people at home as well, I don't usually actually feel in the mood at 10:30 at night. It's quite often
the
during the
morning.
day when I'm busy, you know, for some reason this great thing comes across me and I think I could
Well,
really,
men's
now would be good.
testosterone tends to peak at night, and
Well,
that's
you
why we need to
see.
find that sort of mutual ground. And if you're in a relationship and there's two of you, and one of
Yeah.
you feels that way at night, one of you feels that way at morning, you then still have to say, how are we going to negotiate our differences? It is not about me,
It's about
me,
talking.
and what I want.
It's absolutely
yeah.
about talking it. You really do have to talk to one another, and a lot of people don't talk about sex. They just don't. Either they're too embarrassed, or you just sort of get out.
Well,
of the
your
way of it, I
survey
suppose.
found that about 40% of people said
I know.
they feel they
Guys,
can't talk
we
about
could
sex.
talk about it all day. Thank you very, very much, both of you. Very, very interesting. I'd love to know what you think. And you can also test how compatible your relationship